Hi guys, it's Chris with City Your Homestead. So back for supper and it's Monday. So I'm going to do a couple things and I've had to use a couple substitutions, but that's okay. That's how we make things work. So I'm going to make mashed potatoes first, but I'm going to do it with the skins on. And so I'm just going to cut them and put them in this water here next to me so that they can boil up. But you know, potatoes take way too long to cook. But we're going to do raw for what we're making today so that it turns out delicious. Now sometimes on these really big ones like this, I just cut them into big slices like that and they tend to cook a lot faster. So you don't have to go through and cube them and do all that with it. It says 6 potatoes. I use 3 large and 3 small. So if I have too much for the recipe, then you know what? That's okay. We can use them and I'll have mashed potatoes tomorrow. No big deal. Alright, we're going to get those boiling. That takes the longest than anything, I tell you. You guys know that, right? Alright, so I need... Let's see, because we're going to do both things at the same time. Chopped, okay. So we need an onion chopped. And believe it or not, I haven't had these very long. And they're already starting to get soft. And I bought them from Sam's, which I'm really surprised because usually everything I get from them is pretty good. But you get those times, you know. I don't understand it. It's almost like it's like, I don't know. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, so never mind. But it's like our food just isn't lasting as long. I don't understand it. Or maybe it's last year's or something and they're getting rid of it. I don't know. I just find it really, really strange. So let me get these all diced up. And then we'll get started on the main dish. And we're going to put them, not in at the same time, but pretty close. Alright, so while the potatoes are boiling, I'm going to start our main dish. So the first thing that we want to do is, remember I had all those pork chops left from last week. I sprayed my pan. Now we're going to I washed my pork chops. I will be getting the second one out this week, but not till the end, because I'm going to make something for my son. So I'm going to get all these patted dry. And get them put in that pan. Alright. So now we want to put seasoning salt on them. Which, anybody that knows me, I don't really use this too often, but it calls for it, so we'll do it. We're going to put seasoning salt over the top of each one of them. I'm not doing both sides, just the one. And then we want to put pepper on there. It also calls for salt, but I'm not going to put salt on something I already put seasoning salt on. I don't watch too much for salt, but I don't feel like there's a need to overdo salt either. So I'm going to put that there for now. So in a separate bowl, these are called golden pork chops, by the way. I'm going to put all those chopped up onions in there. Now, it calls for half a cup of fresh mushrooms, but anybody that knows me knows I like mushrooms. I think I'm going to leave them big like that. So we're going to put those mushrooms in there. And then it calls for golden mushroom soup. All I have is plain mushroom soup, so that will have to do. The golden is really expensive, by the way, and I'm not much into that. I don't know what the taste difference is for it, but not enough for me to pay that kind of money. I had one that's not going to give me any trouble, and then one that will. See that? Nate made it back to Tennessee. He had to be in Orlando for quite a few hours. I was like, I hope you got a really good deal on your tickets to have to do all that. He didn't get home till like 10 o'clock this morning. That's a long time, if you ask me. So we're going to get all that mixed together. If I feel like I got to add a little bit of milk, I will. And I think I might, because that looks pretty, well, maybe not. Because I guess it will thin out when it gets, there's water in the mushrooms. So I think I'll just leave it thick like that. I think that'll work. This morning I got up in my freezer, you guys, was making the loudest noise. So I hope it's not going out. It did get rid of some of the frost, but I'll keep checking it. And if it is, then I'll call consumers and have them come out and look at it, because that's the last thing I need, is to have my biggest freezer go out. That would not be good. Alright, so then we're going to put that soup mix over top of it. And I'm sure the golden would be a prettier color and all that good stuff, but you know what, use what you got. So you don't have to go shopping to buy something for a recipe. You know, just, that's all I do. I'm trying to spend as little as I can on groceries these last few weeks. Look at that. That's going to be beautiful. I did forget to get out my aluminum foil, but I'll go get that here in a second. And you want to make sure it's completely covered. Look at that. Doesn't that look beautiful? Alright, let me get my aluminum foil. Okay, so now we're going to use another box of the spinach that I had. So I have one box and one bag left in the freezer. So I'm using it, you guys, you know, and I hope you're following along with me and you're doing the same thing. Because, you know, I reorganized that one. Does it look like I have more room? No. I did find a bunch of chicken, and I'm going to can that, but it'll be for a video for a collaboration, so it'll be down the road a little bit in May that you'll see that. So it says to squeeze all of the juice out of the spinach, so that's what I did. And you're going to take a cup of sour cream. We're going to put that in there. Then we're going to take a 1/4 cup of butter. Yes, I hear you. That's it keeps bubbling over a little bit. Then we need a teaspoon of, I don't know why I just don't leave these things off of there. A teaspoon of dill weed, which I really need to get some more. I don't have a whole lot left. Yeah, it's getting down there. Surprising how much, when you cook every day, how much of your spices you really do use up pretty quick. And then we're going to use a teaspoon of onion powder. And then it says a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. I'm not measuring it. And then we're going to mix that together. You're going to want to get your butter softened so that, you know, you don't have all that, you know, stick of butter in there. It's gross. You want to get it stirred in there really good. And get all your spices incorporated. See, I still have pads of butter in there, even though I did it softened. And the pork chops are in the oven. You're going to cook those at 375 for 45 minutes with the foil on top, and then you're going to do 15 minutes without it. So now I can't move any farther until my potatoes get done. So we're at the will of the potato. Alright, we'll be back when the potatoes are done. Okay, now it says to prepare your potatoes the way that you normally would. Now normally I'd put butter in this, but we've already put butter in the other part of that, so I'm going to use this. I only use this when I'm doing potatoes with the skin still on. Otherwise, I'd use my hand mixer. I'm sure you guys don't want to hear all that, do you? Alright, so now let's hope everything fits in one bowl and one pan. So now we're going to add all of that spinach with it. And the mixture, of course. And we're going to get that all mixed in with our potatoes. I seen this and it actually popped up, I think, with one of the, what was it? I think it was pork chops that it popped up with. And I thought, you know what? That looks really good. So make sure we get that mixed in really good with our potatoes. And then we're going to take a greased pan and we're going to pour all that in there. I think it should work one size. I went to the chiropractor today and my thumb is even worse than it was when I went in, so not sure about that. And then we don't want to push it down, but we do want to even it out a little bit. So we have that. Then the next thing we're going to do, you didn't think I'd get completely away from cheese, did you? Now we're going to take some mozzarella cheese and put on top of that. Now it doesn't give a time how long to cook it, but I would imagine you want to cook it till all the cheese is melted and maybe even browned a little bit on the top. So this is for $3.50, but I'm doing $3.75 for the pork chop, so it'll have to do. So I'm going to put this in the oven now too, and let's see how they turn out. Well, hi Tom.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Me too, just starving. There's dinner. There's his pork chops and his potatoes.
Good pork chop.
Yeah. Now your favorite. Mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
With one of your non-favorites in it. With spinach in it. We had to take Belle to the clinic today to get her claw out of her pad, and it only cost us $14 and they got it out, thank goodness. Poor baby.
She seems to be bouncing around pretty good right now.
I cut the pieces pretty big, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
I'm going to take a little bite while you're doing that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are good pork chops. Mm-hmm.
Trying the cheesy potatoes, yeah.
What do you think?
Good.
Even with spinach in it?
Mm-hmm.
So let's give you a little bit longer. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, you guys have a wonderful night. Be a blessing. Be blessed. And bye, Tom.
Bye, Tom.
You guys have a great night.